really hope that I'm centered right now, otherwise it's gonna suck. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been so long since I filmed a video. If you couldn't tell, we are in my dorm room because I am in college. Whoa! Which is perfect because today's video is all about your guys' questions about college. I asked you guys your questions about college on Instagram, and if you want, you can follow me. My Instagram will be linked down below and somewhere on the screen over here. And let's just get into these questions. Okay, I'm not gonna put her on blast, but my friend asked this question, and you know who you are. But she wants to know, how does one get a boyfriend in college? Wow, we are starting out with the great question. I cannot answer this question right now because I have yet to find out the answer. However, I do know the best ways to make friends on campus. Being on a big campus, it can be really hard to make friends because everyone is so spread out, especially if you're at a campus like I am, like UCSD. Everything is very spaced out and there's different colleges, which means that some people only stay in those certain parts of campus. So it can be very hard to branch out and meet new people. However, I joined an a cappella group literally like the first couple weeks of school last quarter, and that was really fun because not only did I get to keep doing what I love, which is making music, but I got to meet some really great people, and I've only been here for like a quarter and a half, and these people are already like, I feel so close to them already, and I already love them so much. So definitely one of the best ways is to go out and join some clubs that you are interested in. That way you can meet people with similar interests and you can just develop bonds. So I definitely recommend joining groups, especially joining like religious groups. Like if you're Catholic, join a Catholic group. Or if you like soccer, join a club soccer team. Another great way to make friends is to join Greek life. If you're like me, this is something I never thought about ever doing. I thought, oh my gosh, I would never join a sorority. That's just not who I am. And you don't have to if you don't want to. I don't want to force this onto anyone, but for me, I'm so glad that I joined a sorority. I never thought about rushing, and I didn't get to do formal recruitment in the fall because I didn't know I wanted to do it. But I did informal recruitment in the winter right now, winter quarter, and it's been so much fun getting to meet new girls and being a part of something, you know, that has a bigger purpose than you. And there's so much going on almost every day. There's something you can go to. You know, we have meetings, but we also have like philanthropy, and we have bonding events and formals, and it's so much fun. And so that's a great way to meet new people and branch out. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's get into the next question. One of my friends wants to know about rooming. So I am in a triple, which means that there's I have 2 roommates, so there's 3 of us in total. Every school does their rooming differently, but for us at UCSD, so if you're a first year, you're living in the residence halls, which means at our school you're either in a single or a triple. So you're either living by yourself or you're living with 2 other people. So there's different suites. So in each suite there's about like 12 girls. So this question wasn't very specific, but I think you just want to know about like roommates and rooming and how to like deal with roommates, I guess. I feel like I got very lucky. I found my roommates on Instagram, I think maybe a month before we needed to decide who we wanted to room with. So there was an Instagram account for all of the first year students coming into UCSD. And so we all found each other and we just met different people, messaged each other, and we just found out like, you know, our preferences and like, you know, our likes and our interests, and see if we would get along and be compatible. And so I think that's one of the best ways to get to know people and to find out if you would actually get along with your roommates. Some people, you know, will want to choose random, and that's totally up to you, however you want to decide. I personally would not trust being random just because for myself, I'm very particular about certain things, and so I personally just wouldn't want to risk that, but everyone is different. And so I know some people that have done random and they love their roommates, so it totally depends on what you want to do. But that's just how I pick my roommates. So I definitely think one of the most important things when looking for roommates is making sure that you guys agree on, you know, how you want to keep the room clean. Everyone is different, but as long as you all agree that, you know, it might be messy, but you'll eventually clean up your stuff, or, you know, you always keep your room organized and clean, as long as you guys just agree and you come to a consensus of how you want to keep things in your room. I also think it's important to talk about your sleep schedule, because some people will want to go to bed at like 10 at night, whereas some people want to go to bed at 3, which is totally fine because I personally go to bed at like 11 every night, and my roommates go to bed I don't even know when because I'm asleep when they do. But it all works out because, you know, they'll either be studying in another room while I'm asleep, or they will have their small desk lamp on. So either way, it all works out, and we always accommodate for each other. So I think it's really important when you're finding roommates to just make sure you guys get along and you agree on the rules and scheduling for your living situation. And I hope that answers your question. Okay, now on to the next question. How to eat healthy while being in college. This is something I was really struggling with the first couple months being at college. And that is because when you're coming to a new campus, there's all these new foods and you're finally on your own, away from family, and you can make all these decisions by yourself. You can get pizza for dinner every night if you want. You can have ice cream for breakfast, especially because the ice cream here is only 99 cents. So you definitely can easily eat way too much. But that's something I definitely struggled with. And for me personally, how I figured this out was I actually met with a nutritionist on campus, and I don't know if all schools have this. I'm sure every school has some sort of health center or nutritionist office, but I met with a nutritionist and we talked about, you know, my schedule with classes, so what time I wake up for class, how much time I have in between my classes, and just like my daily routine. And we figured out a plan that works best for me so I can eat, you know, balanced diet throughout the day and have the most energy so I can be productive and get everything done. So what I would recommend for being healthy in college is to know your body, know what foods agree with you, and know what foods don't. So for example, if you're lactose intolerant, don't have pizza for dinner every night. It's okay if you have it like, I don't know, once a month, or if you have ice cream maybe like, I don't know, once every other week. That's totally fine. But I think the most important thing is just about balance. One of the things I'm struggling with still is not snacking on like chips and ice cream every day when I want to, because they're cheap and they're convenient. So I really recommend, instead of getting chicken tenders and fries at the dining hall, go to the salad bar and get yourself a salad and then add chicken into that. Make sure you're having balanced diets and just make conscious choices. I know it's really hard when you're running late for class and you want to grab something small, so instead of getting like a candy bar in between class, grab a protein bar. Instead of, you know, having pizza for dinner, have a salad and a piece of chicken. Or, you know, instead of having pancakes or waffles every day for breakfast, have some oatmeal or have some eggs and avocado toast, you know, something like that. So I think you'll be okay about staying healthy in college, especially if you just focus on eating the right foods and making conscious decisions. You'll be okay. Okay, this next question is about budgeting for food. For me, sometimes I think it's so much easier for me to save money by eating breakfast in the dorm. By making my breakfast myself, I'm saving more money that I can spend toward lunch and dinner. So depending on the money that you're given from school, every school does it differently. But you need to make a plan right when you get to school of how much money you were given and then how you're going to divide it up between your food. For us, we have dining dollars, which is basically like a debit card. You don't have like a certain amount of swipes you have per day. It's just money. So that's something I have to budget out and make sure that I'm not spending too much all at once, and then I want to make sure I have some left over at the end of the year. We're also given Triton cash, which is like extra spending money that we can spend on other places that don't take dining dollars. So if I want to go to like, I don't know, Burger King on campus, I could use that money for that. So I would just make sure that you look at how much money you're given in total, and then you want to divide that up so that you know how much money you have to spend per quarter or semester depending on your school. And you want to look at how much you have to spend per day. I think that's really important to know how much you have per day. I definitely would recommend having stuff like instant oats or bread and peanut butter in your dorm. That way you can easily just make a quick breakfast every day and save money at the same time. Okay, so this last question is broken into two parts. So I'm going to answer the first one right now, which is it weird living in a dorm? I would say yes and no. At the very beginning, I think it might have been a little bit awkward just because, you know, you're living with strangers that you don't know and you're trying to get to know them still, but you're living with them. And so I think it can be a little awkward, especially with your suite mates, like running into each other awkwardly in the bathroom. So it can be a little bit awkward sometimes, but I think that just takes time to get past. But yeah, it can be really nice, like knowing that you're living with other people, so you're never actually alone. Even though sometimes you may feel alone or isolated, it is nice always having other people around you. The one thing that is very annoying about having a communal bathroom is the hair. Now, I don't know about guys, but I know that in the girls' bathroom, your hair gets everywhere. In the shower drain, in the sinks, on the countertop, all over the floor, on the toilet seat. It's nasty. So that's the one thing about living in a communal dorm with girls. You want to make sure you have shower shoes. It's very important because do not go in the bathroom barefoot or take a shower barefoot. It is disgusting. Now, for living with roommates, I definitely think it can be a positive. Like I said, it'll take time to get to know people. It can definitely be a fun time, especially sometimes we have movie nights and that's so much fun. Just we all can like jump on my bed with pillows and blankets and we'll watch a movie, which is honestly so much fun all the time. That's like all we do is watch movies. But yeah, it can be definitely fun, and it's what you make of it too. You can, you know, be alone by yourself the whole time, or you can go out and spend time with people. So it's all about that. The second part to your question, which is our last question for this video, is what tips do you recommend when it comes to saving? So like I mentioned before, it's really important to divide your money up between how much you have per day and figuring out ways that you can easily make food on your own to save money in that way. So I definitely think it's important to have a strict budget. That's what I'm doing this quarter, and so I looked at how many weeks are in the quarter, and I looked at, okay, how much money, what's the maximum I want to spend this quarter? So what I did was I took that number and I divided it among every week that I'm going to be here, including the week we have for finals. Because on the quarter system, we have 10 weeks of instruction, but an extra week of finals. So I included that extra week because I'm still going to be on campus. So then I divided up that money, and then I found out how much I had per week. So every day I have on like my notes on my phone, I will go down, and every time I spend anything, even if it's like $1, I will put that I spent $1, and I'll subtract that from my money for the week. So I give myself about $30 a week. So that's for food and that's for anything extra. So let's say I really wanted to buy this sweatshirt, that's 40 bucks. Well, that's more than my budget for 1 week. I can go at this a couple different ways. I can subtract 20 from that week, so that means I only have $10 left from that week. And then I can subtract the other 20 from the following week, so that I only have $10 to spend each week. That's a way we'll go about this, or I will completely say, okay, I'm not spending any money at all this whole week, and then I'll have to subtract an extra 10 from the week after that. It all just depends on how you want to do it, but you definitely want to be strict to your budget. That's my advice, and that is all the advice I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for asking me questions on Instagram. I might be doing this again, so go ahead and bye guys. I just finished perfect time. Yes. Look at how I set this up. Oh, baby, my heart.